Welcome, YouTubers and fellow tankers. I'm Shrine King. This is King's Core, and today we're doing a different kind of review. So typically with World of Tanks stuff, I would actually do a review going into a tank and is it worth it? What's the line like? How do you play it? And going into guides and so on and so forth. And today's model is a little different. So those that are new, welcome. Those who are returning and kind of expecting a tank video, I'm sorry, that's not what this is. So what this comes into is actually, and to be very upfront, so those who are kind of trying to figure out what this is going to be, this is the holiday boxes that Wargaming has released for their Christmas holiday. The question is it worth it? Now, obviously, just to tell everyone, this is my direct opinion with my experience and the experience of others that I've talked to kind of try to help me get information all together to kind of balance this out. So, for all things that I'm referencing, I am not referencing extra boxes or extra purchases besides the purchases of the 75 box model. Of course, this is all entirely randomized when you purchase these, so everyone's results can vary. But what I do want to do is make certain emphasis on certain points that helps dictate, is this really worth the money that you just put into it? Now, with me saying that, what I can tell you is right out the door, if your entire goal is only to get the IS-3 Alpha or autoloader, um, yeah, that's just get it out of the way right now. That is not something I can really give advice towards because it is entirely randomized. There is a good chance that you cannot get anything off your first time trying, and or you could get, I don't know, 4 of them, in your first pull of 75. Who knows? That one in particular is a little rougher on it, so it makes it hard to really say. So, all I'm doing here is, as you can see in the background now, is I'm just opening my boxes, and you're seeing what's coming out of it. So what I would like to note is that initially, I didn't actually have a lot of gold left. I think I only had like maybe 4,000. I also didn't have a lot of premium time left on my account. So everything that you're seeing here is just as it's going through, and some things I want to emphasize here. So one thing I did think that was kind of nice about it, now this is a little more just about the experience. What you're seeing here is that as I received tanks, they would just show, oh, hey, you got a premium tank. Now, in other cases, if I actually got stuff that were a little more rare, like some of the skins or any of the tier 7, tier 8 tanks or premium tanks, those would actually go into a cinematic, and I thought that was very nice for the experience. Now, and funny enough, it looks like the video itself is a little behind here. So I do apologize for that if that actually comes up showing. But as you can see there, I actually got the Grills skin. Now, this was by, I think, like the 9th or 10th box. Now, some of the stuff that I want to kind of get into just to kind of help give the information. Now, by the way, you're going to see that there's going to be a lot of things happening in the background. As I said, this is just the boxes that I'm opening. But I am listening to the sound of it, and I can hear that it's actually off a little bit. So I do apologize for the delay. I'm not sure what was going on with the recording software while I was trying to do this. So after about another 4 or 5 boxes, it turns out that I did get another skin. So this time I got the Bat Chest skin. Now, one thing I want to point out to people is these skins, just like this, they're actually not purchasable in any other way, shape, or form. I don't even know if these are actually going to be purchasable anytime in the near future. So there is a chance that there is no way to get them besides this event. Now, how do you value that? Well, that's really all determined to you. What I will say is if you want to consider it in the value of, let's say, a preset skin, for example, anything that's really nice or at least pretty decent was at least 1,700 gold. I personally would rate it higher than that because, as I said, it's a case that you won't be able to really get it again, maybe. But hopefully, honestly, hopefully, it does come into where, yes, you can. But I would say at bare minimum to anyone, 1,750 gold is probably where I would at least rate that. Now, what is the rest of, like, you'll see the crew members. Now, the crew members, I don't really know how to value that because you can't really purchase crew members individually in a sense like this where you would actually get, you know, so many skill perks or anything like that. So that's hard to really say, and I'll stay, for that purpose, I will refrain from even trying to relate to that. What I will say is every time you got premium days, it's not really that big of a value because the gold conversion to it's really not that high. What I did look into was how much does it typically cost for some of the, like, let's say the tier 8 premiums, and what I found is on average it does seem to be anywhere from about, I want to say 10,000 gold. That's the average that I came up with. Please do not quote me on such numbers. I was just looking at anything that ranged from 8,000 to all the way to the stuff that ranged to like 12,000. So I just brought it down to 10,000, saying, hey, that's pretty easy average. And I look at the value of that being about $50. Now again, that could be anywhere from the range of 50 to 60 depending on how you look at it. So you'll see here I even got the IS-7 skin. Now, what I did find really nice was that they did have a lot of gold. I also found it really nice that they did do gold where then if it was something you already got, it converted to gold, which was pretty helpful. So here's the gist that it comes down to, folks. You have to look at the amount of gold overall that you got, along with the value of a tank that you would probably get. Now, in my pool, spoiler alert, folks, I got 2 of the high-end tier premium tanks out of it. Now, one of them I actually already had, and it was the E25. And yes, I did get the IS-3 Alpha. Very lucky on my end. Now, all things considered, if you did manage to get the IS-3 Alpha, simply because it's not being sold, I don't know if it's going to be sold anytime soon, especially with what they did to it. I would honestly say if you got the IS-3 Alpha, that thing is probably worth $200 easy. Mainly because, like I said, I don't think it's going to come out anytime soon. The weight alone is probably worth it to some people. But if not, if you are a hard stickler of hard cash and the value of it by the lowest means possible, then, and not going off of extra monetary gains, along with special benefit gains that come out of it, then I would say it's still a $70 tank. I don't think there's any way around that. Now, the E25 obviously is tier 7, so that actually makes it a little bit cheaper. But honestly, when they sell it, they do sell it for like 60, 70 bucks. So I can't really say it's that cheaper. So now what you'll notice here, I did get all 4 skins as well. So at this point, I'm just racking in gold. I've racked in premium tanks, and like as you saw, I got quite a few of the M4 improves already, and the Taurens already back to back. And it turned out I didn't actually have the Tauren originally, so not only did I get it, but then I got an extra one. And there's the KV-22, so I got that as well. Now you also get the extra garage spot, and honestly, that's cool, but they're honestly really cheap. So what does this come down to? So what I'll say is you spend $100 to get the 75 boxes. Now, if you figure out, okay, so there's the E25, and you'll see that I got 6,000 something gold for that. So that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, the $100, if you break that down, as I said, a $50 tank is worth 10,000 gold basically, right? On average. So if you figure $50 by 10,000, you're looking at, on a $100 expenditure, I basically should see at least 20,000 gold, right? Now, I want to note something. A lot of people have been mentioning that this is nothing but a gamble. And I want to specify the terms of gambling. Gambling is typically where money is spent on a random chance to win or lose. And it could even possibly cause the loss. Now, sorry, this is actually interrupting here. You'll see the cinematic. That's the IS-3 Alpha cinematic. Very dramatic sound in the background, and I really loved it. I thought it was great. I was really happy that I got this. I'm actually very happy that you guys cannot hear what I was saying when I got it, because I was hooting and hollering and everything. Because I really did not expect to get it, but I was really hoping for it. I was very happy I did. So, rolling back, gambling. As I said, it's a random chance to win or lose. Usually in a sense that some odds will probably be against you. It's the aspect of playing the odds with a chance of loss. Now, the reason why I cannot say that this is gambling is because you paid money, by the way, like I said, $100 to receive value back. And in theory, if all you gained was 20,000 gold, you technically gained your value back at bare minimum. If you gain anything more, that's a win. So you'll see here, I ran through all of my boxes. And you'll see I'm up to 45,000 gold, folks. That means I made 40,000 gold. 40, that's double. I went from having 4 days of premium to 74. So that's 70 extra days of premium. Now, by the way, 30 days is only worth $15, so I can't really say that's really all that much. I did get a lot of silver, and I couldn't even take the time to try to figure out how much silver I actually got in return. But the 40,000 gold alone means if you spent $100 in turn, you will most likely get $200. Now, there are extra benefits to this. Just by doing one full set of 75, I had more than enough to take me from level 4 all the way up to level 10, which then means I had all the rewards for it, and I had enough to start stacking my collections so that I can start getting more benefits every fight for the rest of the time through the holiday season. I can't even specify value to that, folks. I can't. What I can say is that 40,000 gold, where the value you put money into was 20,000 total. Well, you know what? That's double what you put in. That's not a gamble, ladies and gentlemen. That is pure profit. And that is a wonderful thing for the holiday season. It is definitely wargaming giving away. Now, can it be that you are gambling for an IS-3 Alpha? Well, you know what? I would say that is a true statement. You are taking the chance that the money you put for what you want will not be what you get. But the question is it worth it? And I would argue that it is absolutely worth it. My personal opinion is it has to be worth it if you are making value out of what you put in. Now, what can this all go towards? Did you get the IS-3 Alpha? No. Did you maybe not get maybe you didn't get any of them. Maybe you didn't get the Scorpion G, the E25, the IS-3 Alpha, or the Defender. And none of those things. Okay, I understand. That absolutely sucks. But you know what? If you did purchase and you got at least 40,000 gold, right? You now have enough gold to buy any of the Advent Calendar tanks that come through. And they had a lot that came through. If you didn't have time to do the Carnivore AX, well, you could have picked that up. And that wouldn't have been a big deal. There was numerous good tanks that were out on the Advent Calendar that came through, and they were absolutely worth picking up for the gold exchange that you would have had out of this. Even then, even if that didn't happen, now bear in mind, there are tanks that are going to come out, they're going to go into the tree, and you can still purchase those with gold as well, so you have that through the year. Also, all of your premium time and so on and so forth can also be spent towards that. Then you got to figure crew retraining, stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of things that you're probably going to end up using the gold for. But even if you did not get a single tier 8 or tier 7, but let's say you got the majority of the tier 5s, excluding the Lef, right? Because the Lef is definitely a hard one to pick up, so it's got a lot more value. Each one of those are like 20 bucks a pop. All right, so like if you take the 40,000 gold, and let's say you got Another 20, like yeah, let's say you got like 3 of the tier 5s. That's still an extra $60 tacked onto that. So it's definitely worth it. Hands down. Now, if you don't get the IS3 Alpha on your first set of 75 boxes, do I think you should keep dropping $100 to try to get it? I probably wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, it depends on how. It really depends on you. Do you have the money? And do you have a really big desire to get that IS3 Alpha, and unwilling to wait for it to potentially come out for a sale at some point? Because I'll give you a little dirty secret. It doesn't matter if the tank's considered broke, folks. That's what they said about the E25, and they said they would never sell it ever again. And they've sold it, I think, at least 5 times in the last 2 years that I've seen. So, yeah, you probably can get the tank. So, ladies and gents, that was really the gist of it. Just so you know, I did talk to other friends of mine, and a lot of them were averaging anywhere from getting 40,000 to 50,000 gold, plus a lot of premiums, even including some of the tier 8s and 7s, such as the Scorpion G or E25. Sadly, I was the only one that got the IS3 Alpha, and I was also also did not have any of them get the Defender. So, again, I hope you like this stuff. I hope this actually is a different turn that you guys appreciate, and I hope you actually get time for the holidays to spend towards wargaming, and maybe even pick up 75 boxes, because as I said, it's absolutely worth it. Thank you. I'm Shrine King. This is King's Court. I'll catch you again on the next one.